श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति. So yesterday we saw the 16th shloka. Okay. नहि रज्जु तत्व साक्षात्कार अभावे भुजंग भ्रमं कश्चन बाधते. Until the knowledge of substratum, which is rope, is not gained, the erroneous knowledge of snake cannot be negated. This is what we said. This is the example, and with reference to that, the exemplified we said is a एवं शास्त्राचार्य उपदेश न्यायैः परिनिष्ठिते अहमस्मीति. So in this way, through the shastra, through the acharya, and through the inquiry, vichara. So when you gain the knowledge that I am the self, then you get the knowledge that I am the kartru, I am the abhotru, I am the non-experiencer, I am the non-doer, I am the existence knowledge bliss, I am the absolute, I am the non-dual, etc. That self. After that, gaining that, there can be no ignorance and its effect. But if it doesn't take place, anupajate, sakshatkare anupajate, if the immediate knowledge is not gained, then kuto mithya ajnana karyanurti kadibadha. How can there be the illusory negation of badha? How can there be negation of the illusory ignorance and its effect? There can never be that. So you have to gain the knowledge of the substratum. Here by substratum we are not talking about the adhisthana among the 5 causes of karma. The adhisthana, the substratum, which is the self. Okay. Etadasham sakshatkaram eva gurum upasritya vedanta vakya vicharena kuto na janayati. Okay, if this is what is all, meaning if all you need to do is just that, go to the guru and gain the knowledge, why don't people do that? Ityata, for that he says durmatihi. Remember this. He is an idiot. Why? Dushtaha veka pradivandaka papena malinaha madir yasyasa. See, before going to the durmati explanation, we have to understand one thing. See, we have this nowadays we have this positive thinking and all that stupidity. With reference to that, they say, this too shall pass. We say that this is all stupidity actually. But we have to say this kind of stupidity. So, reason is, when you understand everything is because of ignorance, you don't have to say anything else. This is one thing. And if we are in a situation, in a bad situation, I keep repeating from the beginning of my lectures, not just in the Bhagavad Gita, from the beginning of my lectures, whenever I started explaining this, I keep repeating this again and again. Whenever we have a problem, remember that it is not the problem which is in front of us, it is the papa which is in front of us. Our own sins have presented itself in the form of these conditions, these problems. Okay? So, that is what it says. Dushta. He is being afflicted. Afflicted by what? Viveka pratibandhaka papena. By the sin which puts obstacle to his discriminative power. That kind of intellect one who has is a durmati. Okay? Ataha, therefore, ashuddha buddhitvad nitya nitya vastu vekadi shunyattvena. Since he has this impure intelligence, the purity is removed by the ignorance. Okay, so because of the affliction of ignorance, his mind has become impure. That impure mind, because of that, he has lost the discriminative power of what is right and what is wrong, and because of that, tattva jnana ayogyatva, he becomes ineligible for the knowledge. Akartaram pi kartaram, kevalam api akevalam, atmanam avityaya kalp कल्पयन् संसारी कर्माधिकारी देहभृत अकृतबुद्धिः कर्मकर्तृषु तादात्म्य अभिमानात् कर्मत्याग असमर्थः. So though the self is a non-doer, he sees it to be doer. Though the self is a absolute, he doesn't see it to be absolute because of the ignorance. And because of this ignorance, what and all does he not do? He also imagines himself to be samsari. Though the self is never a samsari, it is independent, but still he thinks it's dependent, it is samsari. And he thinks it to be it to be eligible for the self to be eligible for karmas, and himself to be embodied, and with a stupid mind, non-improvised mind. Meaning, akrita buddhi means a mind which is not purified by the teachings of Shastra and Acharya. So, therefore, karma kartrushu tadatmya abhimana, because of the doership and experiencership, he has identified himself with the doership and experiencership. What happens is karma tyaga samarth. He becomes ineligible for giving up the karmas. It is not because he doesn't want to give up karmas. He is ineligible to give up karmas because of his identification with the doership and experiencership. Therefore, sarvada jananmरणप prabandhena anishtamishtam mishram cha karma phalam anubhuti. Therefore, he gets into the samsara of birth and death, and therefore he becomes eligible for experience of the three types of results, which is a good, bad, and mixed. Etena यस तार्किको देहादि व्यतिरिक्तम आत्मानम एव कर्तारम केवलम पश्यति सोपि अकृतबुद्धित्वेन व्याख्यातः. So with this, the logicians who accept the self to be different from the body sense organ complex. See, the Charvakas, the materialistic people, they thought the body to be the self or the sense organs to be the self. Now, these logicians have gone a step ahead and they said, no, it cannot be the self, etc. The self is different from the body sense organ complex. Even they have not understood because of this limited intelligence, akrita buddhi, because of they have not approached a proper guru, etc. Because of these reasons, they don't understand. With that, it is also explained. Anyastu aha. The others, they say, Atma kevalo na karta, kintu adhishtanadibhi samhatah san paramartha karta. The self is not doer individually, but in relationship, when it is in association with the adhisthana, etc. 5, then it becomes the doer. In reality, it is a doer only in relationship with this. Okay, its inherent nature is being a doer. This is what some people accept. Kartaram atmanam. How do you know this? How do you understand this? Because Bhagavan himself says here, Kartaram atmanam kevalam pashyat. The Atma, he sees, Durmatihi, this idiot, he sees the Atma individually to be the doer. Kevalam, individually. So, with that, I understand with the usage of this word, Kevala Shabda Prayoga, because of the usage of this word, Kevala, individually. I understand that it is not individually not the doer, but in association with these adhisthana, etc., he becomes the doer. And he is inherently the doer. With that, for that, we say Tanna. That is also not true. Why? Paramarthatah, in reality, Sarvagriya Shunyasya Asangasya Atmanah Adhishtanadvihi Samhatatva Anuvattihi. The self, which is a unassociated, non-associated. I said we use the word because it is asangaha, I say untouchable. The self is untouchable. It cannot be tainted by anything. And it is not associated with any kind of transaction, any transformation. So since it is not associated with any kind of transformation or transaction, and since it is unassociated, non-associated with anything, therefore, it cannot be in association with the adhisthana, etc. 5 also. So, samhatatva, which you said as the reason, cannot be possible for the self. Janana jala suryakarivat tu avidyakena samhatatvena kartatvam vitadrisham. Then the doership, etc., which this fellow has, how can you explain that? If he is not, the self is not the really doer, he is not associated with anything with adhisthana, etc. You explain the adhisthana, etc., Then how can that be possible? For that we say the adhisthana etc. 5, which are the cause for karma, is illusory. Not just that, the association also is illusory. Therefore, through that association, through that identification, these are possible. Kevala Shabdastu. Then what about individually that word? Kevala. That is Kevala Shabdastu Subhava Siddham Atmanaha Asangatva Adviti Asangadvitiya Rupattam Anuvadati. Kevalam means individual, means non-dual, means absolute. It is only reiterating the inherent nature of self, which is a non-associated, non-dual, etc. So, kartrutva darshinaha anuvadati. Kartrutva darshino durmatitva hetutvena ityadusha. And the one who has the doership, etc. idea with respect to the self, they are negated with the word durmati. You are catching the word kevala, but instead of giving importance to the word durmati, that idiot, that is the key word. You have to understand that. So he says that. Tadevam chaturbihi shloke. In this 4 shlokas, adhishtanam anishtamishtamishram cha trividham karma mafalmam bhavatyatyaginaam pretya iti charanatrayam vyakhyatam. Idanim natu sannyasinam kochit iti turiyam charanam ekene vyachishte. Now, with these 4 shlokas, अनिष्टम इष्टम मिश्रम च त्रिविधम कर्मणः फलं भवति अत्यागिनां प्रेत्य and नतु सन्यासिनां क्वचित्. This is 1/4 whole shloka. A shloka, normally any shloka, and this is anushtup shloka. Anushtup chandas, the procedure is anushtup. So in this meter of anushtupa, there are 2 lines. Each line has 8 characters. So each line has 2 parts, 8 character each. Okay. Now that 8 character part, one part is called as pada. Pada or charana. They are synonyms. Pada, charana means a leg. So they have 4 legs. They have 4 quarters. So first, second, third, 3 quarters, 3 legs we have explained. Pada, Ravindam, Charana, Ravindam, we say. They are synonyms. Parana, Pada and Charana are same. Okay. So we have explained the 3 quarters or 3 legs. Now, the 4th quarter is explained in the next shloka. Natu sannyasinam kochit. Iti turiyam. Turiyam means the final. The final charanam quarter is explained through this next shloka. Yasya nahankrato bhavaha buddhir yasya na lipyate hatva pisa iman lokan na hanti na vibadhyate. Beautiful shloka. This is the key shloka for Vedanta. It is like this, right? What can you do with a knife? Knife? I can cut vegetables. I can cut my food. I can cut a cake, or I can cut somebody's throat. I can use knife in a productive or destructive way. So, similarly, this shloka, if interpreted wrongly, becomes a destructive. See, Bhagavad Gita talks about killing people. No, Bhagavad Gita does not talk about killing people. This is the important key. It says, Yasya na ahankrito bhavaha, one who does not have the ego, identification with ignorance. Ego is a identification with ignorance. Why do I have identification with ignorance? I am intelligent. That is again another ignorance. Okay. So, one who does not have this identification with ignorance, because until and unless you don't have the knowledge of the substratum, whatever idea you have about yourself, good, bad, ugly, whatever that be, that is all ignorance, in the realm of ignorance. Okay. So he says, one who does not get rid of his ignorance, buddhir yasyana lipyate, and he is not tainted by that kind of ego also. For one whoever Hatva apisa iman lokan, even by torturing or killing the whole world, iman lokan, the whole world, even if he kills the whole world, destroys the whole world, nahanti na nibadhyate, he doesn't kill anyone, nor is he bound by their karma. That is what it is. This shloka says. Even if he destroys the whole world, he does not kill anyone, nor is he bound by the karma. To understand this, you will have to understand one shloka, one story. Okay. See, Pandavas, they had been thrown out of their. That is why we have this Bhagavad Gita. They are in the middle of the war. Okay, the Pandavas and Kauravas. So the Pancha Pandavas, they are in the forest, Ajnatavasa. Okay. Now, during this period, what happens is Durvasa visits them. See, for food, they have this vessel called Akshaya Patra, which provides food and whatever kind of food they desire, it provides. That is Akshaya Patra and never ending. So, how much ever food you want, whatever kind of food you want, you can just wish. It is a wish fulfilling vessel. Okay? Akshaya Patra, Nakshayati iti Akshaha. There is no end to it. Is it really so? No, it is not really so. There is this Patra, and it is a wish fulfilling Patra, but still it has a limit. What is the limit? Today only 2 kilos. No, not that limit. Until and unless you don't wash off the vessel, whatever you ask for, it will provide. Whatever food type you ask for, it will provide. But you should not wash the vessel. If you wash the vessel, then for that day, it will stop providing any food. And it is a common system of cleaning the place where you have eaten and washing off the vessel which you use for cooking and eating. In Hindi they call it Juta and Jutan, and in Tamil they call it Yacha and Pat. The place where you eat, it should be clean. After you eat, you should clean it. That is Yacha. That place is a saliva associated place, so it is HL. HL means saliva. And the vessel which you used for cooking and all, that is called as Pat. If you have to immediately wash it. That is the idea. So, this lady Draupadi, what she does is after feeding all the people and after they also eat, she washes off this vessel. Okay. And one fine day, after her washing off the vessel, we have this Durvasa, the angry monk. He comes there. Always angry monk he is. At the drop of hat, as they say, he will curse. His curse is good, but why do you want to fall in the line of his curse? It is like this. I keep repeating. Sadhus should remember you. Just to make them remember, you should not steal their pen or pencil or note or whatever. Oh, that fellow came and he stole my pen. That fellow came and he stole my pencil. No, not like that. They should remember you in good state. Okay. So, this Durvasa also, his curse is a blessing in disguise. But still, why do you want him to curse you instead of blessing you? So, she is now worried. And this Durvasa comes to her household and he says, I am going to have food here in your place. And I have come with my disciples. I'll just go to the river and take bath and do my morning ablutions. And after that, I'll come to you for food. No, she can't say, I can't provide you. And she does not have anything else because normally we'll have rice and all that if you want to cook. And she has a vessel which provides her ready-made cooked food. So why should he have any other material? Now she is worried of the curse. So she prays to Lord Krishna. Krishna appears in front of him, in front of them, and he asks, what's the issue? I'm hungry. Before you say anything, I'm hungry. Please provide me with food. She is now. What a kind of idiot I am. Huh? Durvasa is asking for food, and I called Krishna to resolve this issue, and Krishna himself comes and says, I am hungry. What an idiot I am. So this is what uh, Kunti or this Draupadi, she thinks about the situation and tells Krishna blatantly, this is the issue. This is why I prayed to you, and you are asking for food. Bring the vessel. I just cleaned it. It's okay, bring the vessel. So she brings the Akshaya Patra, and he sees one small rice particle there in the corner and one small piece of mm, some leaves. Okay, now he eats that and he says, let the whole world be satisfied. Trupto bhavatu. That is what he says. Now, if I don't have identification with my body, sense, organ complex, when I say that, then the whole world becomes a triptaha. And the situation is the Durvasa, who was hungry before taking bath, after taking bath, you become normally more hungry. Even if you are not hungry after taking bath in river, you become more hungry. You become hungry or you become more hungry. Now, after taking bath, these fellows feel very filled and they don't want to go to Draupadi and say, we are already full and waste the food. So they run away from that place. So this is what it is. For a person who does not have identification with the body sense organ complex, there is no issue. That is why Bhagavan himself claims a person who is not a brahmachari cannot hold the disc, which he holds on to. So why he is calling himself a brahmachari? Because he does not have identification with body sense organ complex. How can he not be a brahmachari? That's the idea. Okay. Now, yasya nahankrito bhava atvapi. So even if he kills the whole world, he will not be bound or he will not become killer. यस्य पूर्वोक्त विपरीतस्य पुण्यैः कर्मभिः क्षपितेषु वेक विरोधि पापेषु. One who is in contradiction with the aforesaid in the previous shloka, the Durmati, meaning a person who has a affliction of papa. So through his punya, one who is in contradiction with the previous state, because through the punya he has cleansed the papa, the sin, which is the obstacle for inquiry or discrimination. Nitya nitya vastu vekadi sadhan chatuštayam praptavatah. And since he has cleansed these sins and he has gained the prerequisites of discrimination, vairagya, etc. Now, शास्त्राचार्य उपदेश न्याय जनित कर अकर्तृ अभोक्तृ स्वप्रकाश परमानंद अद्वितीय ब्रह्मात्मा साक्षात्कारस्य अज्ञाने सकार्ये बाधिते. Now, through the shastra, through the acharya, and through the inquiry, vichara, he has gotten rid of his ignorance along with all its effect by understanding the substratum, the self, his own nature, that I am the absolute self, non-dual, absolute bliss, existence, knowledge, bliss, etc. All that paraphernalia, he understands that self. Now, badhite, when his ignorance along with its effects are negated, na bhavati aham karta iti evam rupa bhava pratyaya. He does not gain anymore the idea that I am the doer. Bhava means pratyaya. Pratyaya means thought function. He does not get the idea that I am the doer. Yasya bhavah sadbhavah ahankrito aham iti vyapadesha aroho na. One who does not have this kind of idea that I am the doer, I am, the ego, he does not have. Ahankara vadhena, because of the negation of the ego, shuddha swarupa matra parisheshat itiva. When you remove the ignorance, what remains? Ignorance is the ego. When you remove the ego, when you remove the ignorance, what remains is the absolute self, because it is self-effulgent. So that also can be the meaning. Ahankrito ahankarasya bhavaha tat tadatmyam yasya navekena vadhitutva. One who does not have the identification with ego, because through the knowledge, that ignorance, that ego is refuted. That also can be one meaning. Badhita anuvrittopi. So there is another situation. See, if the ego or the ignorance is refuted, negated by the knowledge, annihilated by the knowledge, then you should not see any liberated soul doing any kind of transaction, because they don't see the world, they cannot do any transaction. For that we say the transaction takes place through badhita anuvritti. Oh, there is no world, there is no. We are not talking like that. Badhita anuvritti. So we have to understand this. Otherwise, even idiots will talk like Brahmagyanis. Badhita anuvritti means, see, there is a rope and the rope is completely burnt. When I ask where is the rope, you will show that burnt rope. Rope? Oh, that is rope. Albeit it is burnt, but it is rope, right? So that burnt rope, though it is a rope, it cannot be used in the same way as you used the normal rope. It cannot be used for tying down anyone. So similarly, badhita anuvrittopi, after the negation, like you see the rope snake, you understand that is just a rope, it is not snake anymore. It's not snake, it never was a snake. Now once after you understand, suddenly you see that and you have a jerk. Then you say, oh, it is only a rope, I know. So this kind of clarity comes for us after a second, right? So similarly, the Brahmagyani may deal with the world, his disciples, etc., in the normal way as you see, but it is with the sense that he understands that it is not reality. It is not real. So eva badhita anuvrittopi eta eva pancha adhishtanadayo maya mayi sarvatmani kalpitaha. How does this badhita anuvritti takes place? He understands that all these adhisthana, etc., all these five are superimposed in me through the maya. Okay, so sarvakaranam kartaro maya saprakasha chaitanyena asangena kalpita sambandhena prakashamana, and it makes me the doer of all the activities, etc., through the superimposed imagination of doership, etc. Though I am never, I am only consciousness and I am never associated with anything remotely which is ignorance. Therefore, prakashamana aham tu na karta kintu kartru tad vyaparanam sakshi bhutha. I am never the doer, but I am the witness for the doership and all the transaction. Kriya Jnana Shaktimad Upadhidvaya Nirmukta. I am completely relieved of these two kinds of embodiments, which is the power of knowledge and the power of the activity. Power of knowledge, mind, and power of activity, prana. I am completely relieved of these two kinds of embodiments. Shuddha, pure. Sarvakarya Karana Asammadha. I am never associated with any cause and effect. Kutastha Nitya. I am the substratum. Nirdvaya, without any duality. Sarvikara Shunya, without any association or any transaction, any transformation. Asangohi, I am Purusha. How do you know this? Shruti very clearly says this Purusha is Asangaha, untouchable, non-associate. That's the idea. He is not associated with anything. Sakshi Cheta Kevalo Nirgunascha, he is witness, he is non-dual, he is consciousness, and he is without any attributes. Apranohya Manashupraha Aksharat Paratah Paraha, he is not prana, he is not the mind, he is pure, he is beyond the ignorance. Aja Atma Mahan Dhruvaha Sakala Eko Drashta Advaitaha, he, the self is unborn, it is absolute, it is that which is the substratum, it is everything, it is one non-dual, it is the seer. Ajo Nitya Shashvatoyam Puranaha, this self is not born, it is eternal, it is costless, and it is a Puranaha, Purapi Navaiti. Though it is old, it is always ever new. Nishkalam, Nishkriyam, Shantam, Niravatyam, Niranjanam. It is without any kalanka, impurity. It is without any activity. It is tranquility, it is without any association with ignorance. Niranjanam, it is without any association, attachment. Okay, that is what ityadi shruti. With all these shruti we understand this state in the nature of atma. Avikaryo ayam uchyate. This self is a transformationless. That is also said in the smriti. So he says he is now enumerating the smriti. प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढात्मा कर्ताहमिति मन्यते. Whatever takes place because of the prakriti, because of the ignorance, this idiot who is afflicted by the ignorance feels that he is the doer. तत्त्ववित्तु महाबाहो गुणकर्म विभागयोः गुणा गुणेषु वर्तन्ते इति मत्वा न सज्जते. And the one who knows the absolute, the truth, the reality, he understands the activity of guna and the karma, and therefore he understands that gunas exist in the gunas. Sattva rajastamo exist in the sattva rajastama. Therefore, and he does not get involved in any of these activities of guna. Sharirastopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. Though it exists, the self exists in the body, inside the body, it is neither bound nor does it do any activity. Ityadi smritibhyascha. These smritis also say that it never does any activity, nor is it attached to any activity, any results of the activity. Tasma, therefore, nam karta iti evam paramartha drishtihi buddhihi antakaranam yasya. One who understands that in reality I am never a doer, na lipyate na anushayini bhavati. One in whose mind this doership etc. does not exist. Idam aham akarsham etat phalam bhokshyeti anusandhanam kartutva vasana nimittam lepo anushayah. It doesn't follow through that I am the doer etc. This kind of idea doesn't follow through. What does follow through mean? That I perform this kind of karma and I will experience the results of this karma in this way. In Taittiriya Upanishad, kimaham sadhuna karavam kimaham papama karavamiti. What kind of good deeds I didn't do, what kind of bad deeds have I done. In this way he will not be enjoying or worrying about his activities. That is why he says lepo anushai. It is, he is not afflicted by any of this. Such a punye karmani arsharupah pape paschatarupah. The anushaya, the affliction is if he has performed any punya karma, he is very happy. I did that karma. And if he has performed any papa karma, he feels very dejected. He feels repentance. Oh, what kind of karmas have I done? That kind of a repentance he feels. Idrishena dvidhenapi lepena buddhir na yujyate kartutva abhimanava badhat. And one who is not afflicted by these two kinds of ideas, because he does not have any doership, and that because that doership is negated through the knowledge. Tatha cha jnaninam prakritya shruti. The shruti very clearly talks about the jnanis in this way. Etam uhi eva ete na tarata ityataha papamakaram ityataha iti ataha kalyanam akaravam ityubhecha hi evesha ha eva eshe yete darati nainam grata grate tarata tapataha. So he is not going to be worried about what kind of bad deeds I have done, not is he going to be enjoying about what kind of good deed he has done, because these karmas which he has performed or he has not performed is never going to torture him, taint him. Tad etad ruchabhyuktam. And the rit mantra also explains this. Yesha nityo mahima brahmanasya na vardhate karmana no kaniyan tasya eva syat padavittam viditva na lipyate karmana papakena. Yesha nityaha mahima brahmanasya. This is the greatness, eternal greatness of the Brahmin. Brahmin means the one who knows the Brahman. Brahmana means Brahma janati iti Brahmana. The one who, this is the greatness of the one who knows the Brahman. Na vardhate karmana no kaniyan. He does not grow because of the karmas, nor does he become he did not does he decline because of the karma. Tasya eva syat padavittam viditva na dipyate karmana papakena. Whatever is the real nature of his own self, by knowing that he is not associated, tainted by the karmas of papa. By papa, we also mean the punya. That is why we have to understand Karna, when he was in the deathbed after being hit by the arrows, he is now in the deathbed. At that point of time, Karna has the habit of donating whatever he was asked for. He will just give everything. Even if it means that he is going to be in problem later, he will give without thinking. So in deathbed, Krishna disguises himself as a Brahmin and as a priest and comes to him and asks for his punya. Karna recognizes him for what he is and he says, you don't have to have come in this way, in this disguise. You could have come directly and asked me. I would have given happily whatever I have. So you wanted this. Okay, I don't have water. Okay, I use my blood and I give. So he uses his blood too, because you have to hold on to water to donate. Nowadays, even if you write a deed and register it, you can contest it in the court. This is not contested anywhere. You give it with that water, then that is done. So he donates his punya to Krishna. And people now have debates. Oh, Krishna did a very great sin. See, he is even he's like these politicians who even play politics with the dead. No, Krishna didn't do that. Krishna wanted well-being for goodness for this Arjuna, this Karna. So he wanted him not to take another birth because of his punya. So he took away his punya also. That is the idea. He never did any bad deeds in his life. The only thing which is going to bind him into the samsara is his punya. So he's taking that punya away. That is the idea. Okay. Papakeniti punyasya api upalakshana. He said it. So the papa means it is not just sin, even the punya, because that is also going to give you birth. Vardhate kaniyaniti cha punya papayoho paritosha paritapa abhiprayam. Vardhate kaniyan, growth and decay. This is with respect to the happiness and the sorrow. Growth means happiness. Decay means sorrow. That's the idea. Eva yasya na ahankaraha bhavaha buddhir yasya na lipyate sa purokta durmatihi vilakshanaha sumatihi. So, for one who has not been afflicted by the ego, by the ignorance, meaning one who is in contradiction to the Durmati, the idiot, which was said in the previous shloka, meaning Sumati, a person with a proper intellect. Paramarthadarshi, meaning a person who has the right vision, the proper knowledge about the absolute self. Pashyati akartaram atmanam kevalam. He sees the absolute self as non-dual. Sakartrutva abhimana abhavat anishtadi trividha karma phalat bhagi na bhavati. So, since he does not have the doership, etc., he is not going to be experiencing the three kinds of good, bad, and mixed kind of results. Iti etau api shastrarthe ahankara bhava buddhi lepa bhavo stotumaha. So, this is the idea of the shastra. And in the absence of ego, you will be not getting afflicted by the karmas or its results. That is, to praise this idea, he says, Hatva himsitvapi. Hatva, even after killing, means even by torturing. Iman lokan, sarvan, pranina. This world means all the beings in this world, not just human beings, all the beings of the world. Nahanti hananakriyaha karta navati. He does not become the doer of the killing or torturing. Akartra Swarupa Sakshatkara, because he understands himself to be the non-doer. He has gained the immediate knowledge of himself to be the non-doer. Na nibadhyate, napi tat karyena adharma phalena sampattite. And he is not even bound. He is not tainted by the adharma, the papa result of those sinful karmas. Atra nahan krito bhavah ityasya phalam nahanti iti. Buddhir na lipyate ityasya phalam na nibadhyate iti. See, the idea is nahan krito bhavah, one who is not tainted by the ignorance. The result for that is he does not kill. If he is not tainted by ignorance, he does not kill. And buddhir na lipyate, one who is not tainted, for that the result is because he is not tainted, he is not going to be tainted by the results also. Na nibadhyate, he is not going to be bound by the results also. Anena cha karma alepa pradarshane atishaya matra muktam nato sarva prani hanam sambhavati. See, just to explain that he is not going to be tainted by the karmas, we are just imagining an idea, because it is impossible for someone to kill the entire creation. It is impossible. Hatvapi iti kartutva abhyanugnya badhita kartrutva drishtya lokikya. So even if he kills, that is with reference to the badhita anuvritti. Like I said, the negated knowledge link this, like the rope snake. Even after knowing that it is rope, I have that follow through, which is it is a snake. Oh no, it is not a snake, right? That's the idea. Okay, so badhita kartutva drishtya, the negated, refuted, annihilated doership, with that he is doing the action, which is the worldly sense. In the worldly sense, he is performing, he is seen to be performing the activities. Na hanti iti kartutva nishedha. He cannot kill anyone. There is no possibility of him killing anyone. Iti paramardhishta iti na virodha. Therefore, there is no contradiction here. Shastra ado na ayam hanti. Not shastra ado, shastra etc. Shastra ado means the beginning of the shastra. Na ayam hanti na hanyate iti sarva karma asamsparshitvam atmana pratignyaya. He declared that the self is not associated with any kind of karma with na ayam hanti na hanyate. He does not kill, nor does he instigate someone to kill. Neither does he do it himself, nor does he instigate someone to do it. So that with that he will declare that the self is not associated with any kind of karma. Okay, na nyayata ityadi hetu vachanena, na jayate ityadi hetu, na jayate mriyate vagadacha. This reasoning, he said sadhitva, he established that idea, whatever he declared. Veda avinashanam ityadina vidusha sarvakarma adhikarya nivrittihi sankshepanam. And Veda avinashanam nityam. With this, he established that the knowledgeable one is never eligible for any kind of karmas. He does not perform any karmas. Okay, this is the idea in gist. Sankshepena ukta. In the beginning, it was said as in a gist. Okay, madhyacha, in between also he said tena prasangena. In whatever topic this kind of situation arises, in those places he brought it and he explained it. Prasayita. And iha shastrartha etavatva pradashnaya upasamhrita. And here also to say this is the idea of the shastra. See, whatever is said in the beginning and whatever is said in the end and whatever is said in between is the idea of the shastra. Upakrama, upasamhara, abhyasa. Okay, so the shadvida tatpari linga, the two lingas are there. So na hanti na nibadhyate iti. And it is the same idea said here also. He does not kill, nor is he bound by the karmas. Evamcha avidya kalpitanam adhishtanadi anatmakritanam sarveshamapi karmana. So the avidya, due to the superimposed avidya, whatever adhishtana etc. you imagine, through that whatever karmas you perform, all of them karmanam sarveshamapi kalpanam, all these karmas atmavidyaya samuchcheda utpapattehe, all these activities which are through the ignorance, based on the ignorance, can be removed, annihilated through the knowledge of the self. Paramarth sannyasinam anishtadi trividham, when he gets rid of that ignorance, then for that paramarth sannyasi, that real sannyasi, this three kinds of results of karma, anishtam, ishtam, mishram cha, is impossible. Na bhavati iti upanam. That is proper also, that is right. For the real sannyasi, these three kinds of karma is impossible, that is said. Okay, because he does not associate himself with the doership. Paramartha sannyasascha akartra sakshatkara eva. Meaning, why? Because one who is a real sannyasi, the real sannyasi is one who does not see himself to be doer, etc. One who does not identify himself with the doership, etc. That is the idea. Okay. जनकादीनाम् एतादृश सन्यासित्वेपि बलवत् प्रारब्ध कर्मवशात् बाधितानुवृत्त्या परपरिकल्पनया वा कर्म दर्शनम. So in Janaka, etc., Janaka, he ruled, he was ruling the kingdom, and so many other great realized people. Bhagavan Bhashyakara, he traveled around defeating others and establishing his own system. All these ideas which we see, they can be possibly because of three reasons. One, because of their past karmas, balavat prarabdha karma, because of the past powerful prarabdha karma, or badhita anuvrittya, after the negation of the knowledge, ignorance, there is a continuance of that ignorance, the thought imprints of that ignorance, the smell, vasana we call it. Okay, so because of that samskara, it is possible. Or paraparikalpanayava, because of other superimposition of this person doing, etc. So any which way these kind of activities are possible. Na viruddham. Therefore, that kind of activities which are seen in them is not in contradiction with whatever idea we established. Paramsanam, idrishanam, bhikshatana. Like we see the paramsas performing the bhikshatana, etc. They go with the begging bowl for their food, etc. The scene. It is, they don't attach themselves, even if they are not fed, they are not going to be bound by that. So it is only the activity of the physical body because of the thought imprint vasana, or because of your superimposition. Ata eva jnana phala bhuto vidvat sannyasa uchyate. That is why we say the vidvat sannyasa is the sannyasa of the realist is the result of knowledge. The absolute sannyasa is the result of knowledge. Sadhana bhutastu, the sannyasa during the practice is a vividisha sannyasa, the sannyasa performed with the desire to know. That anevam vidahapi, though it may not be of the same stride, it may not be of the same type. Prathamam uttarakale jnanotpattau evam vido bhavati. In the beginning, though it may not be of the same type, but later, after the knowledge dawns, it will be of the same type, even for them. Iti vakshyate. This is what is said here. Purvam adhishtanadi panchakasya kriya hetutvena atmanah sarvakarma sanya asamsparshitam muktam. So, by establishing the adhisthana, etc., 5 to be the cause for karmas, we have established that the atma, the self, is not a doer, etc. Samprati. Purvam means earlier. Samprati means now. Now, tam eva artham, the same idea, jnana jneyadi prakriya rachanaya, through the methodology of establishing the knowing under the object of knowledge. Jnata, the knower, jnanam, the means of knowledge, jneyam, the object of knowledge. So, through this methodology, Traigunya Bheda Vyakshya, by establishing the Trinity, Vivaritam Akram. He wants to explain the same idea, explain it in detail. Jnanam jneyam parijnata trividha karma chodana karanam karma karta iti trividha karma sangraha. Jnanam jneyam parijnata trividha karma chodana karanam karma karta iti trividha karma sangraha. Chodana, chuda prerane, the instigation, that which the Vedas, they are the instigator. Okay, the Vedas explain things in three ways: the jnata, parijnata, the jnata, the knower; jnanam, the means of knowledge; jneyam, the object of knowledge. That is with respect to the karma. Karma means not just the activity, the desired object. Okay, karanam karma karteti. That is why we say karanam karma karteti. Karma means the activity. If you say in the karma, there are three stages. One is the knower, the means, and the object of knowledge. So there are three things: the knower, knowledge, and the object of knowledge. And for gaining data, for doing that activity, there are three stages. One is a karanam, the instrument. in between. Karma, the object of knowledge, and karta, the doer. Karma does not mean here the activity, action. Karma here means the object of knowledge, because kartur ipsitatamam karma. According to the Sanskrit grammar, the sutra says kartur ipsitatamam karma. That which is most desired by the karta, doer, is karma. So karma is the object of knowledge. That is the idea here. Okay, we'll see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.